Oh, yeah, you know the feeling. The credits roll, the lights come up, but your body hasn't quite gotten the memo yet. Your heart is like hammering against your ribs, and every shadow in the room feels like a threat. And yet, there's a weirdly satisfying thrill buzzing through you. We've all been there. And tonight, here on Word to the Wise, we're going to take a look at the science of why that happens, how filmmakers use a precise formula to hijack your brain. But we're also going to ask a much darker, more controversial question at the same time. Are they doing more than just messing with your brain chemistry? Are they actually getting into your spirit? We're going to go from the psychological to the spiritual and figure out what's really going on when the lights go out. So come and join me, you guys. All right? Come on, cousins. I say, let's pod about it.
In a world fraught with confusion, one man will break his silence.
You are now tuned in to the funkiest show this side of the Pecos, baby. Welcome to another episode of Word to the Wise. Who am I? I'm just your friendly neighborhood liaison, just your tour guide, if you will, for this journey that we call life. Yes, and before I get it started, you know what I got to do. Always got to give it up for Pops and Fat Mama. Yeah, let's get a quick little round of applause for Pops and Fat Mama, the people who have gave me some spirituality when I was growing up. And we talked about a lot of things. And see, there was a lot of superstition that goes on inside of the family unit, especially if your folks are from the South. Don't sweep over my feet. Don't you put my purse on the ground, or making sure that you toss some grain of salt over your shoulder. Don't split that pole. We got to walk on the same side. You guys ever heard of that? Splitting the pole. And then there comes the movies that we have watched. We are right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, from another Halloween. As you can see, I'm rocking the thug life. I got some of my favorite villains here. I got Jason Voorhees and rocking the Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and little Chucky in the house and Ghostface Killer. And I keep forgetting the name of this one over here, the little clown. Pennywise, yeah. So yeah, and I also feel like Aliens, the movie Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. That can be a bit of a horror movie as well. But inside of the church, if you are a person of faith, do you watch horror movies? I'm talking about something different than the scary movies. They have some that are getting so bloody now, and with a lot of guts and gore that are inside of those movies. And there's a physiology. There is something that occurs inside of the human brain when you watch those. But is it more than that? Are we letting things inside of the eye gate? And once it gets inside, it can just meld inside with your spirit. The question is, why watch them at all? Some people love them. And it has a whole bunch to do with how you react to them. But I was talking with my daughter about this, and she was like, well, if you don't have any faith, then the horror movies don't shake your spirituality at all. I'm like, wow, what you say? And I start thinking about it. So I want to talk to you guys real quick, and we're going to break it down to the last compound. That's how we like to do things here on Word to the Wise. But how do horror movies just hijack your brain? Before we get spiritual, we have to get physical. Because what happens when you watch a horror movie, it is a powerful, primal, deeply biological event. And it all starts up here in the brain with a tiny little almond-shaped bundle of neurons called amygdala. I think that's what it's called, but the brain has a alarm system in it, and it's something in your consciousness lets you know that you feel danger even though you're safe on the couch. You feel like you are in danger, but you are safe there on the couch. And it really doesn't know the difference and between that on-screen fiction and real life danger. So when it spots a threat, that shadowy figure of sudden movement, it yanks the emergency cord and it triggers the body's fight or flight response. This system evolved. You mean it used to actually just save us from actual predators, but modern horror, they have learned to hack into it for some entertainment. That's what they've done. And the second that your amygdala, it tries to flood your system with a chemical cocktail. First up in chemical cocktail is adrenaline, which is responsible for, that certain jolt of energy, your heart rate skyrocket. In some studies, there were viewers that were watching intense films like Sinister. They had their heart rates jump over 130 beats per minute. Now your breathing quickens and you start to feel that palpitation that is going on in your heart, and your muscles, they tense up, and suddenly you're ready to either fight that monster or sprint running right out the theater, man. At the same time, your brain is going to release a second chemical called cortisol. That's the body's main stress hormone, and this is going to make you even more hyper alert. You're scanning the screen for what's coming next, and you see the reason that feeling, it is lingering. It is a sense of dread, and after a little jump scare has passed, the response is so potent, man. You feel like you were actually there. Have you ever been watching a movie and you felt like you were in that movie? Yes. And if that has happened, then that response, it can lead to anxiety and also disrupt your sleep. When you watch a scary movie and you go to bed and you can relive it in your mind, that's the cortisol. And also an adrenaline rush. Some people love a scary movie the same way that other people love roller coasters. The same chemical and physiology that happens is happening while you're sitting there on the couch and you're watching it. And since your body is still processing that perceived danger, it's doing it hours later. Research has shown that poor sleep after watching those scary movies can mess with your emotional regulation the next day, making you more vulnerable, making you have these negative feelings. But it's all just stress and fear. That's what the movie is stress and fear. So why on earth do people enjoy them? Why on earth do we watch them in the first place? Why do we just line up and pay money to be terrified? The secret is in that third chemical, and it's called dopamine. And after the threat is gone, once the monster retreats or they kill off the monster or the scene ends, your brain gets rewarded a flood of dopamine. See, it's the neurotransmitter that is tied to the same thing that we get in pleasure. Yes, pain, stress, anxiety, they are kissing cousins with pleasure. It's the same chemical. You can get that from eating your favorite food like chocolate. Chocolate is a addictive little sweet candy. Yeah, Halloween's right around the corner. Today is Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we podcast, and today's the 29th. You got the October 31st coming up. And some people, when you eat chocolate, you get that same chemical rush. Or you can get it from winning a game. It's a dopamine rush, and it creates a high. It's a sense of euphoria that comes from having survived the quote unquote danger. You flirted with death from a place of total safety, and your brain rewards you for it. It's like an addictive cycle of tension, and it keeps you so that many of us keep coming back for more and more and more because something is happening on a physical level. So if that is happening to you and you enjoy it, you might be an adrenaline junkie. But those are the things that happen to the body physically. Yes, they do. But what about the spirituality? Is there something else that is going on? I want you to just drop your comments in the comments section if you could. And I would even love to see if you would like to support this program. Hey, if you do, then I am available. No donation, no love offering is too small and none is too big. And you can also find me on all these different stations. I'm out there, man. I'm in these digital streets. Find me on any one of these, especially if you like your podcast to be only in audio. But if you like the video format, you can see me scrolling right down here at the bottom at youtube.com at the T Patrick. Or you can also find me over there at TikTok at Cat Daddy in the Mix. Yeah, so let's jump straight into the topic, and I want to discuss the spirituality that is going on. So we got the scientific standpoint. Absolutely gets into your brain. We proved that. The trigger is a cascade of hormones that stimulate a life or death struggle, even though you haven't even left your couch or the theater, leaving you both terrified and euphoric. So it could be a tool for building emotional resilience, or it's a tool for being able to trigger lasting anxiety. It's a psychological impact, undeniable, profound. From a spiritual standpoint, though, the answer, it deepens entirely, and it depends on your worldview. For those of you who see the world through a spiritual lens, like myself, engaging with all these depictions of intense evil, it isn't just entertainment, is it? It's a risky act. It is something that you can invite into your ear gate. Go through the eye gate into the ear gate, and it just seems to just marinate and gets married with your spirit. You invite that negative influence into your life. And once it is inside, you find yourself behaving differently. For others, these films are just, nothing but modern fables, just allegories, just stories for our eternal struggles, or maybe even with a power beyond the psychological. It could be something otherworldly, but it deals a lot with the dead. There's certain movies and things that I tried to watch, and I couldn't do it. No. I couldn't, because I start to feel like, wait a minute, can horror movies get into your spirit? I start to feel like that when I was watching a Netflix movie. It is a series called Monster, and the Ed Gein story. Now, in watching it, I saw that it was the actual person who was the inspiration for Alfred Hitchcock movie Psycho. The one with the shower, and then he was walking around talking to mama, what's wrong, mama, and he had on a mama wig and wearing mama clothes, and then the woman finally spent the chair around mama been dead. He was talking to no one. There was no mama. He had turned himself into mama, even put her teeth into his mouth. That is something that, was scary enough. But the actual person, Ed Gein, I had to turn it. He was involved in all kind of guts and gore and necrophilia, and he was making furniture and lampshades and stuff out of human skin. He cut people's faces off and wear them as a mask, and then he was in an intimate relationship with somebody's dead auntie. To the point that when his quote unquote girlfriend wanted to be intimate with him, he told her, I can't. You're too warm. So she went soaked in a bathtub full of ice cubes and froze her body to try to simulate some rigor mortis. And I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I can't watch this. And this is a real life person. So when you start to let that stuff through your eye gate, help me out, church folk, all of you who believe and you have a personal relationship with the Lord. Do you feel that watching that stuff, it invites it? You give it an invitation, kind of like the vampire movie Sinners, where they couldn't come in the juke joint until you invited them in. So are we sending out an invitation? Because ultimately, the effects of a horror movie, it has incredible personal things. It shapes you and shapes your personality, your experiences, even your core beliefs. What one person finds to be a thrill, another might experience it as a genuine spiritual disturbance. Whether a horror movie is harmless, like a roller coaster for your brain, or something more, it depends on your own discernment. So the next time you press play, you better decide if you're training your brain for anxiety or you're rehearsing for a different kind of battle altogether entirely. These battles that we are talking about, it is on a spiritual terrain. It is on a plane that once you get deeper and deeper into the word, into the scripture, that watching these images, it just don't sit well with you anymore. And maybe that's for a good reason. So yes, I'm really curious to know what do you think? And if you would like to be able to drop a comment over there inside the comment section, do you believe horror movies can have a spiritual impact? Have you ever experienced anything after watching one that you just couldn't explain away with science? Share your thoughts and your stories in the comments below. I would love to be able to hear from you guys, because when I am talking about these topics here on Word to the Wise, I look at it as the opportunity to connect with the community, connect with the world at large. Everyone has a different opinion. There are people who are big fans of it. And then there are those who won't even let their kids watch Harry Potter. They said, no, that's wizardry. That's witches. I grew up trick-or-treating. I don't know how many people out there can relate. I never considered it celebrating Halloween. And I know what it means. All Hallows Eve. Yes, I know it was a pagan holiday, just like a lot of our holidays in America. They're paganist. But at Halloween, for a kid, it was just about duck candy. But we used to have some evil people go out there trick-or-treating, go outside the neighborhood. I used to hear the stories about the razor blade in the apples. They give you an apple, want your kid to bite it so you cut your gums or something up. Who would do that? Who has time to unwrap and put poison inside of a Snicker bar and then somehow crazy glue it back so it looked like it was never open? Who's investing that much time to be that hateful? My parents and all parents told us these stories. Have you ever heard it? Have you ever heard of any one of those crazy Halloween stories out there? Craziest thing that ever happened to me on Halloween was my own brother, Jamie, snatched my bag of candy. Him and his homies, him and his boys, they used to ride around. Uh, this week, Halloween fell on the weekend. Me and my homies were trick-or-treating. But they was robbing little kids for bags. They wait till you do all the trick-or-treating, come by on their bike and snatch your whole pillow sack. We didn't have the nice little corporate pumpkins and everything back then. Now you get a pillowcase and take the pillow sack and put them in, put your candy in there. But then when you bring the candy home, mama got to inspect the candy. Oh, yes. I couldn't help but notice all her favorite candies was the ones that were suspect and needed further investigation. Yeah, these Butterfingers, they look suspect. I don't know. We got to set these over here to the side. I'm going to make sure I take care of these for you. And before you know it, they all gone. Yeah, so we tried to look out for each other. We were out there having fun, but we were not really celebrating Halloween. But is Halloween your favorite holiday? Some people love cosplay. They love to get dressed up, love to put on a costume and go chill and just hang out, man, and just have a ball. And just for one day out the year, you can be whoever you want to be and just live vicariously through that character. You can do that. But are you letting something into your spirit? I honestly want to hear from you guys. Are you letting something inside your spirit when you do that? Think about it. When you are a person of faith and you feel good about what you're doing, you know that the Lord is on your side. You know that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And you got to be prayed up. You got to be well studied. You got to study the scripture to show yourself approved. And once you can do that, you should be able to just deny and ward off those unwanted spirits. But thou should not test God and be a tempter. I'm going to run right into the most evil place. Come on, Holy Spirit. Come on, guardian angel, Jesus. And you got my back too. Down. Fools rush in where angels dare not to tread. A fool will go over there. Just keep going, and you may find yourself by yourself. I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but I know you shouldn't keep rolling the dice. Now, I do love a good murder mystery, solving a puzzle, and thinking about it with your brain. And those type of movies, they also have the adrenaline rush and cortisone and those things that is happening into the human body where you feel on the edge of your seat. Same thing as action adventure. Yes, I love a good John Wick or anything by Rambo, Jason Bourne movies or Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. I love those type of action movies too. A good shoot 'em up. Are we letting violence into our spirit when we are watching those movies? So it is everything. But that's just for entertainment. What is happening in the world today? What is happening out there in real life? That's why that Ed Gein monster on Netflix scared me so much. That was a real person. He was really out there. He was about that sinister lifestyle. What is going on in the world today? We're as a human race, we are a danger to others and to ourselves. So I implore you, cousins, I would like for you guys to be able to love one another just a little bit more. And if you don't like watching them, don't. If something is telling you to not watch them, don't do it. Because it is a forewarning that comes with it. If you can take it and you feel like it is nothing more than fake blood, that's corn syrup. Yeah, that's just movie makeup. That's just movie magic. Yeah, that's AI. That is 3D generated imagery. That's a character inside of here. Those are people with makeup on. And if you have put it in that perspective, maybe it's okay with you. I want to hear from you. Do you still watch horror movies? And are they getting into your spirit? Do you feel that you get numb to them? Because the industry, they are getting more bloodier and more gorier. One horror movie genre I just don't like. I don't like when they have the spirituality and the horror and the demonic spirits all intertwined. You know the ones I'm talking about. The preacher is the devil. The nun is a demon. Yeah, the pastor is the killer. I don't like them. I can't get into them. So those are things that I do not enjoy. But one thing that I do enjoy, and that is you guys joining me right here on every single Wednesday, man. And I love the fact that we can come together as one accord and talk about things with an open mind. I want you to keep doing what you do, okay? And I'm going to keep doing what I do over here at Word to the Wise. I'm going to keep swinging like Tarzan, baby. Know why? Because it's a jungle out there. But I got your back like vertebrae. I'll see you guys next Wednesday, okay? And same cat time, same cat channel. And I'll be right back to do these things right here on these same messages. Peace, love, and hot catfish grease.
I hope you like the podcast and you really like the podcast.
Come on, be serious.
And you really like my podcast. Like and subscribe.